All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. So a lot is going on with Dead Frontier. So we're going to talk about what's going on. We're going to read through some updates. There is a lot of news for this month. So the month of March, guys, we have a lot going on. So if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the videos, join our Discord. Doesn't cost you a dime, 100% free. Link in the description below. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into this. So in this video, we're going to be covering what they're working on and what they have done. We're going to read the news articles. If you don't know where to find them, go to the Dead Frontier website, go to the forums, go to announcements, and you're going to want to check out the changelog, and you're going to want to check out the development updates and discussions. So again, this episode is going to have more about what's going on and not gameplay. This is just a Dead Frontier update and what they have going on. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the development updates and discussion thread. And if you guys didn't see the video that we did with the developer Q&A, you know, I don't know for certain that this was from that, but I think that a lot of your feedback was actually heard, guys, you know, when we were talking about communication to the community. And you know, it would just so happen that we did that Q&A and there was a lot of feedback about like news and announcements. And then randomly this topic gets made about updates and discussions. So it's kind of a coincidence that, you know, we were mentioning that and then this comes out. So it's a way for them to communicate to us and give us updates. So we're going to read through all this, guys. So we're going to have a lot of reading and we're going to talk about what's going on. So to start out with, the first post is this thread is intended to be a place where members of the dev team can share what's currently going on behind the scenes. And this is actually from Clayton, the main DF developer. And again, there's other developers, you know, working and helping, but he's the one that, you know, typically I talk to. And again, you know, these were the Q&A we did was with Clayton. So things we're working on, ideas we're exploring, progress on upcoming features, and occasionally our thoughts on topics being discussed by the community. Not every post here will be a major announcement or part of an official update. Sometimes it may be simply a developer sharing something interesting they're experimenting with, progress on a feature, or responding to a discussion happening on the forums. A similar communication flow we have on Discord, but rooted here on the game itself. A few things to keep in mind. Posts here may describe work in progress, and things we mention may change before release. This thread does not replace official announcements, patch notes, or suggestion threads. So he's saying, hey, this is just where we're going to talk about things. It's not official. This is just to kind of keep you guys in the loop of what they're working on. So go down here to the next one. So again, March 6th, based on community test group feedback and after some discussion, here's the things that here's where things might be heading with clan machines. The details or exact numbers of what you read below will need to be tuned through testing and can be altered based on what the community thinks. Some quick notes we had on clan machine balance. Crafting machines will require a minimum uncommon metal scrap, uncommon metal bars, uncommon cloth, or uncommon fabric rather than lower tiers of materials. This should give some immediate relief to the lower level item marketplace. So they're saying a lot of the stuff we had was using lower level items, so people were like scrapping and breaking them down and all that, and it messed with the marketplace. So this should give some immediate relief to those prices. Fuel usage is going to be increased for each machine cycle. The consensus is that fuel management is near non-existent, which I agree, and there is no reason to consider green energy alternatives like solar panels. The idea of clan machine limits or caps is still being processed or discussed. So again, you know, I agree with all of that. Addressing some community questions. Okay, so yeah, they do call out some community questions. What was the goal behind the clan machine? So I think we did this, guys. I think this is something that us as a group actually accomplished, right? This made an impact on the game. So addressing some of the community questions. What was the goal behind clan machines anyway? The clan machines were intended to provide clans more ways to supply their members and upgrade their clan HQ through what is essentially a mini game. Cash generated could be used to unlock more clan member slots and storage, supplies like meds and food shared with members within the storage. That would help smaller or not so mega clans upgrade their clan over time. Was there any testing for this system before release? And again, these are all things that we asked. In short, yes. We have a test group and test environment that most updates go through before release. In hindsight, most of the discussion and testing revolved around technical bug fixes and within the scope that the clan system would be used by clans for clans. Unfortunately, there was some confusion around when the update was being released, and it fell out of focus before the design itself was more carefully considered. In the future, we are going to be doing more guided testing, and we've expanded our test group to more players with different perspectives. So they've opened it up, they've added more players, they're getting more insight in things and testing done prior to releasing it. So again, our feedback helped with this. So let's talk about the money counters. Money counters will no longer produce game cash, but instead a clan dedicated currency that can be used in a clan store. So that's pretty cool. So clan store, clan display name change. So you'll be able to, this is what you'll be able to do with the clan store. You can do a clan display name change, clan stat reset, which is your victory points being refunded, clan member slot, cash version will remain available, clan storage expansion, cash version will remain available, clan trophy grants 1 VP, clan rally boost grants a temporary 5% damage, movement speed, experience, or attack speed boost for 24 hours. Clan currency generation rate and clan store costs are still being worked out. All the above should be fairly straightforward for us to implement with the current systems, but we'll need a little time and testing. A lot of interesting ideas came up when discussing the idea of a clan store that cannot be implemented right away due to content resources being focused on Unity 5 development. Some of these ideas for potential future releases included clan-themed character cosmetics, clan emblems, clan war system upgrades. If you have more ideas, please share them in a dedicated suggestion thread. Then down here he has quick disclaimer, clan machine or supply officer development iteration times does not impact the work we are doing to get Unity 5 client released to the community. These systems are handled by different parts of the team. So he's saying, hey guys, we're going to keep working on this, but there is a separate part of the team working on Unity 5. And let me grab a drink. All right. So, we considered one idea that the community put forward where the cash generated from money counters would automatically get donated towards the supply officer. But there is a few reasons we opted not to go that route. So he's saying there was an idea that we put forward where the community suggested, hey, what about having the money go to the supply officers? He's going to talk about why they decided not to do that. So generally, we find that system designs that do not directly benefit a player or clan do not get fully utilized. There needs to be an immediate benefit to the action that player or clan does rather than relying solely on a feel-good community contribution for a system to work. It seemed like a kick the can down the road approach where the cash is still being generated infinitely but would just be converted to infinite free boosts instead. Speaking of the supply officer, there are some changes headed its way. The system ended up being much more powerful than we intended on release. We felt that we set the milestone goal fairly high and that it would be unlikely to reach super high boost amounts, but could still be fun addition, which in hindsight was a bit naive. Fairly quickly, we saw it providing a seemingly permanent 25% damage reduction, attack speed, damage dealt, experience, movement speed. This just didn't seem feasible for a long-term game balance when weighing the amount of cash it was sinking. Its main purpose outside of being a community-based objective. For some perspective, the Spirit Pumpkinhead cosmetic that does not alter gameplay at all removed over 120 billion in-game cash, making it 4 to 5 times more effective while not imposing large balance concerns. So, they made something, they thought it would do one thing, and it ended up doing another. When faced with those balance concerns, instead of lowering the boost cap to something like 10 or 15%, we wanted to keep the option for boost to go a bit higher if the community really rallied. So we instead opted to add scaling decay, a scaling decay rate before the system accumulated a large amount of reserve boost to cycle the whole player base forever. This change essentially put brakes on the system as a whole, which was a stronger response than we anticipated. Most of the money being put towards the supply officer was from a few very generous players. And if you guys didn't see that, there's people contributing millions and millions and millions of dollars. We figured helping the community out might not appeal to everyone, but a majority of players did not contribute towards the milestone goals like we had imagined. Instead, it was held up by one type of player and a leaderboard. Even a community-focused objective needs a personal incentive to get more people interacting with it. We're going to shift this system to reward players with an additional individual boost immediately if they reach a minimum opt-in donation amount. So he's saying you donated X amount and then you get X amount. Meaning if they donate, as an example, 5 million, they will get a temporary self-boost and contribute to the goal or contribute to the global donation pool goals. We're likely going to keep the decay rate roughly where it is to prevent the permanent 25% boost to everything that is happening right now. That said, everything happening again, I should say. That said, we are going to make the way the system picks what boost to decay less random. That should remove the painful sting of attack speed getting reduced 3 days in a row. We are also looking at adjusting the donation goal amount itself, as well as adding things like community-wide challenges on the supply officer page that let players work together to give a decay immunity for that day. Clan machine changes will come first, but I wanted to communicate that general direction for supply officers as well, since it seems some players tied them together recently. So again, a very good overview of what they've changed, what they're looking at, why they want to change it. So this is the kind of feedback that we've been asking for, and now we're getting it, right? So, again, another post on March 6th on expectations for the Unity 5 update. So now he's going to talk about the new update. We've seen a lot of discussion recently about what the upcoming update might look like, especially when it comes to visuals and how far the changes will go. There have been some really exciting ideas and expectations floating around, and comparing it to some recent game releases. So we wanted to take a moment to clarify what this update is aiming to do and what it isn't in terms of graphics. First, the visuals are being improved. Textures are being cleaned up, environments are getting a pass to make them feel more cohesive, and the overall art direction is shifting toward a darker, grittier tone, drawing inspiration from the look and atmosphere of classic Dead Frontier 2D. The goal is to make the world feel a bit more grounded and worn down by the apocalypse. That said, we also want to keep expectations realistic. While we can absolutely improve the presentation and give things a more refined look, this update isn't intended to completely transform the game visually or push it into modern high-end graphics territory. So he's saying, you're not going to take Dead Frontier and make it a AAA game, but we can take Dead Frontier and polish it up, give it a little bit of a grittier look, make it feel a little dark, but we're not going to be competing with the new Call of Duty. It's not meant to win graphics contests or chase modern AAA visuals, like I just said. Instead, the focus is on strengthening the style and atmosphere of Dead Frontier while keeping the game performant and approachable. Below are a few screenshots of the current art direction taken in our dev environment, which is, of course, still a work in progress. We're looking into a performant way to add a lot more variety to the vegetation, like grass, wildflowers, overgrowth, and etc., and adding even more gore and grime. Our focus has shifted to client stability and game balance, but we will do another art pass before release, and then again during the map overhaul and new building updates. Our enemy roster is currently sitting at 160 infected, so updating them will be another large project. We'll continue sharing progress, and we appreciate everyone's enthusiasm and feedback as we work on these improvements. So, can I zoom in on this? So you can tell I do like the art style. If you guys are checking this out, a lot more clear, a lot more refined. It is darker, kind of cartoony, kind of Borderlands-ish, I would say. But yes, way clearer. I see the maps. Cyclone, Vile Storm. There's the looks like they're looting a store. Got some fire going on. So yeah, overall, here's some forestry. Pretty similar, not too much different. Now going on, now March 7th, so moving on to the next day. And again, this is the last one for this, guys. So, future weapon balance and fire rate changes. I've seen some discussion recently about how weapon balance might change once the Unity 5 update goes live, particularly around fire rate and DPS values. A few players have pointed out that fixing the current attack speed behavior could theoretically push some weapons to extremely high DPS numbers. We wanted to clear up how this will actually be handled. So, some of the concerns that have been brought up is, hey, with the new engine, it's, bullets are going to be shooting faster, the fire rate's increased, miniguns are going to be doing a ton of damage, and so on and so forth. So what he's saying is, I've heard you guys, but that's really not going to be the case. So he's going to talk about this. So right now, many weapons in the game are effectively balanced around the fire rate behavior of the current client. In other words, the DPS values you see today are tied to how the existing engine processes attack speed and firing intervals. So oftentimes, the damage per hit or fire rate is exaggerated on the server side to compensate and get closer to the client performance that we intended. With the Unity 5 update, the way fire rate is handled will be more consistent. That means some weapons fire faster than they currently do if nothing else changed. However, this does not mean those weapons will suddenly jump to dramatically higher DPS values, but DPS in general will go up. As an example, the Sand Scorcher currently deals about 680 DPS in the game's current client. This weapon will not shoot up to the 1020 DPS that is seen on estimated damage per second page. The fire rate and damage per hit will more likely be balanced to keep it within the current range of power level with a small boost. The idea is to keep the in-game weapons in that 650 to 800 DPS range we've been sitting at for a while. This will vary between individual weapons and categories, with machine guns getting a larger boost to help them be a more viable pick. So he's saying, yes, theoretically it could do 1020 DPS, but they're going to modify these so that they stay around the 650 or 800 damage range, and they might make the miniguns or machine guns a little larger boost. But other than that, they're gonna keep it similar, guys. So what this means in practice is that when the fire rate behavior changes, damage values will be adjusted where necessary to keep the weapons within their intended tier of power. So while the mechanics behind firing may become more accurate and consistent, the end result in terms of overall weapon strength should remain familiar. This approach helps us avoid sudden power creep while still allowing the update to correct long-standing engine behavior and improve balancing consistency. It also ensures that existing weapon tiers and progression remain meaningful rather than being disrupted by a large DPS spike. As always, balance adjustments will be monitored as the update develops, and we'll continue sharing information as the system gets closer to release. So, it makes a lot of sense, guys. All that makes good sense. So that answered a lot of questions that we all had, okay? So now what we're going to do, we're going to jump to the last change log. And there's a couple things that just happened, guys, within the last couple days. So starting on the 11th. So today's the 19th. So 8 days ago. Actually, it just turned midnight, so like 7 days ago. So, Clan Machine update. So, again, they were talking on the 6th about Clan Machine updates coming, right? Well, here's an update from just recently. Money counters. Inaccurate money counters will be temporarily disabled and can be dismantled for full materials back. So, they've taken away money counters temporarily. Again, like they said, they're working on this. Gas generators will consume 100 milliliters of fuel per hour. Efficient gas generator will consume 200, and advanced will do 400. So they made the gas, like they said, take more. Solar panels will be renamed to makeshift solar panels to produce 600 watts. Solar panel will be renamed to solar panels to produce 1.2 kilowatts. And solar battery will now, so they made the solar panels more viable. Junk machines will produce 1 scrap every 6 hours. Car processor will produce 2. Junk plant will do 2 metal scrap, and car plant will do 3 metal scrap. So again, they're adjusting all this, and you will now be able to remove non-transferable items from the clan storage. Clans can be disbanded for $2.5 million, and additional $2.5 million can be earned based on the value of the materials in the clan material storage. And then another clan machine update. Revamp of the clan machine interaction with storage. Machines will have dedicated input stores. Machines will be able to deposit into other machines' input stores. So they're working around with all this stuff, guys. And then going down here on the 12th, they released some more clan machine updates with further changes. They did mess with the junk processor, car processor, junk plant, car plant. They changed all the values. So again, they're messing with these, trying to get them balanced, guys. Now this is what just happened. So they've done some weapon buffs, guys. So on the 15th, they did pistol buffs. Beta Tomcat 3 to 4. So if you go through this and start looking, you're going to see all the damage changes. But realistically, most people are going to be down here looking at the like XPython 60 to 63, Obsidian 50 to 55, the Hornet 60 to 65, and the Wyvern is going to be going to from 280 plus 70 to 315 plus 35. So some big changes there. Corpse Shooter, Desert Rat, Dawn Enforcer got a buff, Dawn Enforcer, Prowler, Silencer boost, and damage boost. So they went through and edited a lot of this stuff, guys. And then again, SMGs have all had their damage fall off mechanic removed, so the damage no longer falls off, guys. Eviscerator, PvP damage, so this is their PvP stuff. But the SMGs, all their fall off damage, so if they're farther away, that's gone, doesn't matter. And then also another update on the 16th, a couple days ago, withdrawing items from the collection book costs now $15,000, which is great. Fixed an issue with where dismantling items sometimes gave inconsistent amount of materials back. Fixed an issue where opening the marketplace context menu on items in the selling section could leave the page. Fixed an issue where confirming missed marketplace purchases with the enter key would not trigger correctly. Fixed an issue. So a lot of fixes, guys. Computer PCB was given a unique color scheme. Let's see, anything good in here? Computer PCB image. Clunky mastery icons replaced with in-game weapon item art instead. Corrected Wyvern description. What's this? You can now dismantle 800 credit shop implants into advanced. Oh, okay. So you can dismantle some credit shop implants into implant blueprints, and then you can use that to craft an advanced implant case for $2 million. You can now dismantle carrier organ Camp Valkyris implants into carrier samples. This can be used to craft a bio implant case for $2 million. That lets you choose a new one. And then some more updates. Excess striker spread is reduced, so tighter bullet spread. GAU 19 all variants. Damage spread again. Changes that are in the works need to client. The server will no longer kick you out of your barricade. Overstack ammo will no longer replenish regular ammo. And then yesterday, weapon tooltips now display recommended critical hit stat to reach max critical hit chance. The server will no longer kick you out of your barricade, which is very nice. X-Garen switched to true, very high accuracy instead of its own tier. Pistols needed a slight reduction in stat requirements when compared to other looting weapon types. Semi-auto pistols now have a true high accuracy. Revolvers bumped from high accuracy to very high. So pistols got some love, guys. SMGs are much more stat hungry than other weapon categories, removing the strength requirement, increasing the critical hit chance to very high. So yeah, they're really messing with some stuff, guys. A lot of updates. Look at all these changes for these weapons. And then last miniguns are due for a larger rework, but the meantime, we're doing some changes to have them perform a little more consistently. Minigun critical hit chance removed. They are all now 0 crit hit chance. To make up in the slight DPS loss, they were given roughly 10% damage. So again, some damage boost there. But a lot going on, guys. Now, I know this was a lot of reading. I apologize for that. But we needed to share this. And I needed you guys to see that you made a difference, right? You guys made a difference in the game. We literally got content added in the forums on a topic in a thread from things that we have done together as a team. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your thoughts and your feedbacks and the Q&As and everything you guys have done. Thanks for listening to this video. If you guys did like this, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, let me know, put a comment below. Please join our Discord. It is 100% free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And keep checking out, and I will cover more updates as they come out. But yeah, getting ready for the Easter event like everybody else. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.